favorite. I'm gonna start this again, so let's try this again. So basically how it started, I'm just gonna go through a little bit just to give you an idea of how much weight I lost and how long it took and all that stuff. So it started at 270 and then I dropped to 250. And that was from September to December 2016. So just before, I think about a month before the holidays, I was at 250, and my goal was to stay at 250 throughout the holidays, which I managed to do. But again, all I was doing there is food portions, because for me, portions were a big deal because at home they put something in front of you on the table, you ate everything, and you didn't ask questions. Here, obviously, things are different, and eating the amount of food I was eating was ridiculous. Let's say I would make spaghetti, I would probably eat the equivalent of 3 to 4 portions, like 3 to 4 meals into one sitting. So that's just to show you how bad it was. So I started with that. I was like, okay, I'm gonna let my body adapt to eating less, right? And yet we need to manage to do more things because I was a gamer. I stopped gaming, and then I was actually working out. So I was doing a lot of things right, but also I was spending a lot more energy. So it was kind of difficult to eat less, basically get less energy, but use more overall. I would work about 3 times a week. Usually it was Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So I had days off in between every workout, and it was very light workouts, barely any cardio, maybe like a 5-minute warm up, and more. I was more going towards weightlifting and some core, very light core exercises. Again, didn't do much of anything in the gym. Barely got a sweat out of there. So I went through the holidays, and I thought it was amazing. And then I went on that hike with Jess, and that's when I realized that I was so far from where I needed to be. So I went from 250 to 230 from December to March, roughly. And then all I did is maybe increase another workout in there, and then that's about it, really. Then from March to May, I dropped from 230 to 215. Again, now it's working out 5 to 6 times a week. The workouts were harder, but again, nothing crazy. Then in May to September, I stayed at 215 because it was the summer, and I didn't want to, because I was in Vimy and I was outside all the time, and the hours are really odd and everything. I was like, you know what? I'll just try to stay even. Also, got to take into account that Jess kept inviting me to these burger feasts, and then I basically had to eat burgers. Can't just not. I could have, but again, what I say is that you gotta feed the soul a little bit. As much as you want to stay clean and eat really well, at that point especially, I was like, you know what? I gotta give myself a treat here and there. So I stayed at 215. Then I went to Italy and dropped like 7 pounds, and then that was just from walking. I was walking so much that I was actually losing weight. And I was losing muscle as well. So after I came back, I regained those pounds pretty easily. And then eventually from September to November, I dropped from 250 to 200. At that point, I started to really increase my cardio workouts and decrease my weight training and increase my core training. Core training, again, push-ups, planks, stuff like that. And then I started to eat a bit more vegetarian as well. I was cheating a lot less. Cheating, I mean, like late at night, eating like horrible. Do not do that. So unless you're a night owl like you, that's different. But again, I don't know if he is. Then from November to February, so basically until now, I dropped from 200 to 180. Right now I'm oscillating between 185, 180. But again, I'm really not working out like crazy. I'm working out maybe 3 times a week right now. So, and if I was actually just doing a little bit more activity, I would like walks and stuff. I would still stay at 180 easily. Like right now, like I have a 3-day week, and I'm sure I'm gonna drop all the weight that I gained during the 4 days that I stayed here and basically sit on my couch and do nothing. So again, just so that he understands that he can actually drop weight and not necessarily like work out like a madman. It's really there's a lot of ways to drop weight. But so yeah, to go from 200 to 180, the main thing that I changed was I went vegan for the most part. I dropped coffee, like especially cream and all that stuff from it. No crazy, no coffee. Instead I'm drinking tea, and I'm not drinking caffeinated tea. So if I'm really having a rough morning, I might go for a coffee. Again, I'm never extremist to the point where like if I clearly need something, I know I'll go and take it, and I won't feel guilty about it either. So again, you gotta feed the soul, really important if it needs it. I also increased my cardio workout during that time, and I train less than I used to. So that's basically how my weight dropped. So in about a year and a half, right? So it's not something that happens tomorrow, okay? It's something that happens gradually. Just basically, he has to figure out where he needs to improve the most, right? Is it what he eats? How much he eats? Is it more the workouts? But again, that's an equation. How much calorie he spends throughout his entire day, and how much of it he eats throughout the day, and that's as simple as that. Again, it sounds super complicated, but it's not that complicated without having to really count too much calories. The only thing I did is I weigh myself every morning. It doesn't matter when, just pick one time and stay with that time every time. So if it's the morning, for me it's the morning just before I hit the shower, I basically weigh myself every morning. I find it's the best because you just rested, your body is completely rested. You just weigh in, and then after that you go out your day. But again, it wasn't something that I was doing to drive myself crazy either. Like if it's gonna do that to him, then don't do it. Like to me, it wasn't. To me, it was just okay. I ate this much last night. Oh, look at that! I didn't drop any weight. Okay, trust me. Like at first, you realize if you don't know, you'll realize pretty quickly what you eat that's bad and what you eat that's good. Or if you drink a few beers, you'll understand that you've lost just about every weight loss you had that day. So again, it just depends, right? But again, I'm not telling you to drink beer. I'm just saying understand what will make your weight drop and what won't, right? Especially in the beginning when you're overweight, these things are massively impacting you. As you're dropping the weight, they impact you a lot less, I find. Like I recover from beers a lot faster than I used to. So I guess it has something to I guess you can I've seen that some people that are totally in shape and drink, and the next day it's all off and then they're still working out, there's no problems. So again, just know that that stuff will happen over time. I'll talk about the rollers. I have them here. This was the number one thing in the beginning for me, because when I tried to do this before, I stopped at 215. I was about 230 when I started, and that was in a squat malt. It wasn't as heavy, so to start. But again, 215, I thought I was hitting my max, but really my workouts were not good enough. And the other thing that I had a problem with is I had major shin splints because I was so heavy. Like that weight was just like so tough for me to manage. My knees were just like not handling it very well. So the rollers really like saved me with that. So I use those two. This one is for your back, and again, you want to focus on one area, not the entire back. Like don't roll back and forth for the entire back. Just pick one spot and just go slight motions, really light motions, back and forth. And trust me, it's gonna freaking hurt. Okay. So, but afterwards, your back should be fine, and also go all the way up to the shoulders. Then I use this one, right? This one is just a straight one that you could actually have like some divots like the other one I just showed you. And again, you can have them super hard or a bit more mellow. It just depends on how deep you want to get into the muscle tissues. But I do, this one works the trick for me. So I do all my entire arm, especially, and don't forget the back of the shoulders and the shoulder itself as well. And then the other side and the legs as well. And then I'll do the chest. If I do a really intense chest workout for whatever reason, I'm gonna definitely do the chest. And trust me, if you don't do it properly, you'll know the next day, because every time that I didn't do this on the body part that I've really exercised that day, the next day was horrible, right? And that's why that was a big saver for me, because shin splint, again, like I said, were so bad, like 2 to 3 days, I couldn't do anything. I could barely walk. So this really helped me a ton. So, and the trick is, you want to warm up the body first. So you're basically this is the trick that Jess gave me. So I get my bathtub running, go in the tub. You could also use a shower, it doesn't matter, as long as you stay there long enough to warm up your body temperature. And then you start rolling your muscles right after you're done with your shower or bath. And then the last step is to cool down. And usually what I do for me is I just lay down on my floor behind me because the AC is right above me right here, and it just cools down the floor. So if I lay down, it's going to be like, and then after that, it should be fine. Like I said, the next day you should not feel super sore at all. It might be a little bit at the beginning because you're starting, but it's going to be definitely be better than doing absolutely nothing. And this doesn't take very much time. People think, oh, it's so much time. No, it's like 5 minutes. If you do it, it's really 5 minutes of your day, so not that much time. My workouts on average are about an hour or so. If I can go longer, I'll go longer, like for an hour and a half. This depends, right? But again, it also depends on how much time you will have as well. So recovery as well includes sleep. So a good 6 hours plus is definitely something you want to think about. If you do 4 hours, it might be really tough. Muscles need to recover, so you need to do absolutely nothing for a bit. For me, what I do is I usually go to bed around 9 o'clock. So that's usually when I usually wake up around 5. So again, everybody's different, but again, I suggest that he rests definitely at the beginning. The motivation has to come from him. It has to come from him wanting to better himself. Nothing else. Nothing else. Not you, nothing else. Just him wanting to lose the weight and be healthier. That's it. I started this, and then friends of mine were like really good friends that I knew I could like work out with, like let's work out together a lot. And I said, no, I'm not doing that. And it sounded harsh when I said it, but I'm happy I did because the person already quit now. Well, quit a long time ago. But again, you don't want to get into that. And it could be you, it could be a friend of his. Don't do that. He has to do this alone. It's a grind and it's not fun. There's days you don't want to do it. But again, if you rely only on yourself, then it's only yourself to do it, and there won't be any excuses. It will be because you gave up or because you were ready to do it. But there's no other way, really. I've seen it's funny because I was talking with Kalai Norbert, who's a friend of mine, and now I see how he sees things because he's been fit for a while. He doesn't go and talk to everybody that tries to get fit because he understands that so many people say that, but they're not ready, they're not committed, they're not trying. It's life changing, to be honest. And for me, it was the gaming part. When I quit gaming, I had all this time, right? And I said, okay, I'm going to change the way I live. I'm going to change everything. Like I think I told you that when you came here, actually, and it changed so much since even then. Like, I thought I had changed a lot, and I changed so much more after. Like, you just keep changing, keep adapting, keep like making things different, and it works. And sometimes it doesn't work as well, and then you know, and then you try different things. But again, it's a grind, and it has to come from it. That's the number one thing. He has to let his body adapt to his new weight. As you're going through weight loss, your body is gonna start doing some really. He's gonna feel that. It's definitely there. Like where you feel your body is answering to things differently. So again, it's not because you're not dropping weight that technically you're not really getting healthier. Sometimes actually at the beginning, because I was doing so much weight training, I was actually gaining muscle. As I was dropping weight, therefore I was not really dropping anything. So you gotta be cognizant of that. So sometimes you're not doing terrible. That's not the reason why you're not dropping weight. It's not because you're not working hard enough. It's just because of the way you structured everything, and now your muscles are kind of getting in the way of your weight loss. Again, it depends also what kind of body he wants to have at the end. Does he want to be like a big buffed up, like Arnold Schwarzenegger type, or does he want to be like, someone that's really lean, like kind of like me right now? I'm starting to get more on the lean side of things. Again, it just depends, right? So that's that. Goals to me were important. They were not the main reason. Again, the main reason is because I want to get healthier and I want to change the way I live. But that's not the main. Like, those side goals are something fun to add to that grind to keep you motivated, right? So my first goal was 250, right? It was 250 before Christmas. That was my goal. So I'm like, okay, did that. Then I was like, okay, next goal, I want to stay at 250 during the holidays. Like little things like that. They don't need to be super big. they could be about anything. They could be about your workout. Oh, I want to do 30 minutes on the treadmill at this speed. I've never done it yet. So I'm going to try and try and try until I get there. And eventually you get there and it's like, oh my God, I did this. I did it, right? And it's these little things, right, along the way that goes a very long way. It could also, like I say, when I hit 200, below 200 pounds, that was another goal of mine. Sometimes it's other people that will inspire you along the way. I remember, I think I wrote that in my last post, Kalai, almost at the beginning. I think I was 230 when that happened, and he was like, I was asking him like, how realistically, how do you think I can drop to how much weight? And he was like, I think you can drop to 185. I thought it was the silliest thing when he said that. I was like, there's no way. But I didn't say anything, but that's what I was thinking. But then now here I am at 180, 185. So was it impossible? No. Was it hard? There was some times that it was, yes. But again, because of the resolve and because I really wanted this, I got through it all. And now here I am, right? So, but again, keep the little goals, keep himself motivated, help. The way I eat, for me, for my diet, it was basically, it still is, a shake in the morning. Right now what I do is a salad for lunch, and then I cook something on Sundays, and then I cook that for the entire week, and it's usually for supper, but again, it could be for lunch as well. It just depends on what you want to do as far as that's concerned. My shake, usually it's proteins, a banana, almond milk, and eggs. And I put that in the blender, and that's what I drink. And again, it's not a huge, here's an idea, this is the cup that I drink from. So very, very small, not the huge ones. That's a lot of protein and a lot of other things as well. So that's as simple as that. Again, it's salads now, but at the beginning when I started, I was eating like a normal meal or something like that. But again, like I went from like meat, a lot of meat and a lot of cheese in everything I ate, and I stopped doing that completely now. But again, there's a gradual way of doing things. Like I said, started with the portions, tried to get them smaller. Once I got that under control, and I started to work on not cheating so much after hours. I mean, little things like that, little steps at a time. But don't like go and try to do everything on day one, because you're not it's not gonna happen. Right? So that's that. So again, I'm not saying you should go vegan, but I feel great as vegan. But again, it's challenging as well. But it's not to the point where I'm going to drive myself crazy over it either. If I'm going out for supper and then there's no, I don't know, they don't have anything vegan, I'm going to eat whatever is as healthy as possible. But again, I'm not going to kill myself over a diet. Again, got to keep feeding the soul as well, which usually gets in the way of anything vegan. And that's about it, really. So again, I could keep on going on forever, but I don't want the video to be too long, so I can actually send it to you. So again, that's basically that. See ya. Hope it helps.